Hey everybody, Mr. G here to do the homework. I've got my class with us to do the homework. Okay. Remember, parents, back page, front and back, is to help you understand how the kids are learning the homework in class. This is how we teach it in class, so this can help you explain it to them or help them with it. Students, if you need it, there it is. Okay. All right. We be sure you put your name, the date. Today is the 3rd. Here we go. Number one, estimate to equally partition and label the fractions on the number line. Label the wholes as fractions and box them. The first one is done for you. So here we're counting by thirds. We started with one whole. 3/3 is one whole. Then we split our line into thirds. Split our line into thirds again. And we continue to label. 4/3, 5/3, 6/3. It's another whole, so we put a square. 7/3, 8/3, 9/3. 9/3 is a whole again, so we put a square around it. Now, how do we know those are wholes? Well, 3/3 is a whole. We count by threes one time because it's thirds. You get 3. You count by 3 two times, you get 6. You count by threes 3 times, and you get 9. Let's move on to the next one. The next one is eighths. Okay, so we start with 2 this time, but I still need to split into eighths. So I'm going to split into eighths. Okay. Okay, so we're going to label with eighths. Now, this one starts with 2. So what do you think our number is going to be here? We're counting by what? Eighths. How many times? 2. So what is it? 8, 16, 16 eighths. Okay. Okay, so we numbered 16 eighths, 17 eighths, 18 eighths, 19 eighths, 20 eighths, 21 eighths, 22 eighths, 23 eighths, 24 eighths. Now, the way we know that's 24 also, or that that's a whole, is if we count by eighths 3 times, we get 24. Okay. All right, next one is fourths. Fourths. Okay. So we need each one to be split into fourths. Okay. Now, it starts with the whole number of 2. So if we're counting by fourths, we're going to count by what? How many times? 2, 4, 8. So 8 halves. No, sorry. 8 fourths. My fault. 8 fourths. 8 fourths. And then we square it because that is a whole. 8 fourths. Because we're counting by fourths, right? Okay, so now, okay, so all we did here was label 8 fourths, 9 fourths, 10 fourths, 11 fourths, 12 fourths, 13 fourths, 14 fourths, 15 fourths, and 16 fourths. Now, if we notice, this is a whole, 12 fourths. Why? Because we're counting by fours 3 times. That is 12. 12 fourths. 4 is another whole number. We know that's the another whole number because we're counting by fours 4 times. That gives us 16. All right, next one, D. This one says halves, and we start with 3 and we end with 5. So what number are we missing? We're missing 4. So I'm going to put it right in the middle. 4. Okay. Now, we're doing halves, so I need my line split into 2 or half, right? So, half, half. Okay. Now, if I'm doing halves, what am I counting by? Twos. Okay. So if I count by twos, how many times to get 3 wholes? 2, 4, 6. So 6 halves. 7 halves. 8 halves is another whole. How do I know that? Counting my halves, which is 2, 4 times because we're at the 4. 2, 4, 6, 8. Next one is 9 halves and 10 halves. And that's another whole number. How do I know? Counting my 2's, I'm at 5. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 halves. Okay, next one, fifths. That's what we're doing, fifths. Okay, but if you look 6 to 9, what numbers are we missing? 7 and 8. Okay, 7 and 8. Now, what do we need in between each one? Fifths. So we're splitting it into 5. Each one. Okay. Now, we started with the number 6. We're counting by fifths. So we're going to be counting by what? Fives. How many times for the first one? 6. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So we would start with 30 fifths. And that's a whole, so we put a square. Now all I do is continue. 31 fifths, 32 fifths, 33 fifths, 34 fifths, 35 fifths. That's another whole. How do I know? I'm counting by fives. 7 times, it gives me 35. 36 thirds, 37 thirds, 38 thirds, 39 thirds, 40. Oh, I said thirds, not thirds, right? My fault. Sorry, my fault, my fault, my fault. It happens, it happens. Fifths, not thirds. Fifths. Sorry, I don't know why I said thirds. 39, 40 fifths. Here's another whole. Okay. Now, how do we know that's 40? Because we're counting by fives, and we're going to do it 8 times because that's the whole number, 8. 8 times 5 is 40. Then we continue. 41 fifths, 42 fifths, 43 fifths, 44 fifths, 45 fifths. And that's another whole number. How do I know it's a whole number? Counting by fives, 9 times. 9 times 5 is 45. Okay,